Hey guys, Blake here with another video, and it's been way too long since I've picked up some new fish, so decided to order myself some. Let's jump ahead and unbox these and have a little bit of a chat about the fish that I picked up today. Okay, so I've just got the box upside down, and I've got the worst knife in history to make this unboxing a bit more of a challenge. So this order, I've wanted these fish for ages. Keen observers will know what they are because I've talked about them a fair bit. But I ended up ordering them from Nano Australia, and I placed the order on Monday, I think. So they shipped out yesterday at 5 PM. It's been about 24 hours, so can't complain with that speed. So we got double bagged. Ooh, they're looking pretty cool. Let's take off the first bag. Let's see if you can see them. Any keen eyes there know what these are? The bag's pretty cold, so I'll just get them floating immediately in there. I have once again paid retail for these guys, no discounts or special favoritism or anything. Okay, so I ordered 9. And while they warm up, we'll have a bit of a chat about the other thing that I ordered here. This is something I think is kind of cool. It is a little acrylic aquascaping tool stand, so I thought it was pretty interesting. I wish that there's a few things I've noticed immediately. First one is I wish that the screws were on the outside so that you don't have to put them in the water. It would work exactly the same way. I don't know why it isn't, but anyway, that's the design of the company, not fault of anyone else. Just sit it on the side of the aquarium like that, and then very simply you can store all your tools in one place. You won't lose them like I do all the time. Okay, so the fish have been floated to acclimate appropriately now, and they're pretty much ready to go in. Before I do put them in, I have just done a few little changes here, which I'll run through. So the first one was pretty important, and it was to install this lid. It's not the most aesthetically pleasing thing at the moment, but we'll just make sure that nobody can jump out. Other than that, I caught the betta out of here. He was just having a bit of a go at them in the bag, so I thought that might be a good idea. I've also got some oak leaves here that I'm going to put in the aquarium just to get a bit of tannins and leaf litter in the water, make it a bit more of a natural habitat, so they can go in there now. Won't sink immediately, but over time they'll go in. And the last thing is I've got some Amazon frog bit here, so they feel a lot more comfortable with floating plants in, as a lot of the anabantoid fish do. So I'm just gonna put those in now. Hopefully I haven't brought in any duckweed with it, but if so, we'll deal with that down the track. So the next bit is just to put the fish in. I've noticed unfortunately there is one DOA in here, so we'll just put him into the net, and then the other fish will swim out and we'll separate him out. But that's unfortunately what happens sometimes when fish are shipped in the mail. So okay, so here they are in the net here. We've got some Sparkling Gouramis, if I haven't mentioned it already. Once they get a bit more size on them, they'll show some really nice colour. So I'm really excited to pick these up. I've got 8 survivors in here, so I think it's time we let them escape from their net and go visit their environment here. So okay, so a bit of information on these guys. They're Sparkling Gouramis, also known as the Trichopsis pumila, also called pygmy gouramis, and they're called Sparkling Gouramis commonly because they sparkle blues, greens and reds, and I think they just have a very nice luminous in colour. They're an anabantoid fish like most bettas and other gouramis, so they're going to breathe directly air from the oxygen, and they do reproduce using a bubble nest. So because of the anabantoid basically development, they're a lot more hardy than other fish, and they're tolerant of less than ideal water conditions. Water conditions, however, it's best to keep the pH under 7, the temperature above 25 degrees Celsius, approximately 76 degrees Fahrenheit. It's also a good idea to not put them in high flow environments. For that reason, I've got a spray bar on and it's spraying directly towards the wall of the aquarium. During breeding, the males will make a bubble nest and the female and the male will embrace, just like a betta does. So they'll do that sort of hugging motion. Eggs will fall down and then the eggs will be placed in the bubble nest. They will not really compete well for food, so you don't want to keep them in with anything that's going to really be vigorous at the food. And although they're not a schooling fish, they do like to be kept in groups of 6 or more. I guess being a small fish, it gives them comfort when there's other tank mates around, that they're not going to be prey for some larger fish that's going to swim by. Another cool feature of sparkling gouramis are that they readily eat planarians, so they can be a good control mechanism for planaria. It is best to keep these guys with a lid because they can be little jumpers, but it's also a good idea to leave some space because you need to provide them some area to go up and breathe from. Also, since they do like the sort of lower pHs, they're a great candidate for a black water tank, and they'll really thrive from the dark waters if you provide tannins and stuff and things like that. Also, since they do have to go to the surface to breathe oxygen, they can feel a little bit exposed there, so if you can provide some surface floating plants, they'll really appreciate that, as it will give them cover when they have to go up and breathe oxygen, make bubble nests around it and stuff like that. So overall, I was stoked to pick up 8 of these little guys. It's really unfortunate that we did lose one on the way, but I think this is going to be a really exciting little tank, and they're only going to get better with age and with some quality food. So excited to see how these guys develop, and I'll be sure to bring you any updates, especially if I'm successful in breeding them. So there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm super stoked to pick up a new fish, and I'm super stoked to pick up a few sparkling gouramis. So let me know if you have an intention to keep these fish in the future, or if you've successfully done so and you've got some tips for me. If you liked the video, please like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching.